So today we will see how we can read and write the Parquet data format. Parquet is a column-based file format which is normally used for big data processing, and it has been developed by Apache. So let's see how we can make use of that in R. I'll be using these libraries. And I'll prepare some sample data. I'm going to create a big file, so I want to create like million records in the file, and I'm making use of the wake field to create some random data. It has taken me 180 seconds to create the data. So here is the data. It's just the dummy data, which is quite lengthy, and it has 1 million records. So let's see how we can save this using the data table fwrite format. Oh, my system actually crashed, so I'll have to start it again. So I've started my system again, and here we go. I'm actually running the same thing again. This time it has taken me a bit less time to create the data set. Instead of 180 seconds, it took me 173 seconds. So anyway, we are back on track. So now I've saved my data on my C drive. My C drive is a SSD based drive, so it's taken me 4.63 seconds to write that data. And I'm going to now read the data. This is, I'm still using the CSV based files using the fread. And let's see how long it takes. It took me about 7.51 seconds to read the data. Now I'm going to write and read the data in the Parquet format. So write_Parquet will write your data onto your drive in a Parquet format. It took me about 13.26 seconds. Now I'm going to read the same data back. So read_Parquet will do that. And let's see how long it takes us to read the data back. And I'm actually using a SSD drive, so it took me 11.81 seconds. The next thing would be to run the same thing on a network-based drive and see what happens. So I'm using the data table fwrite command to write the data onto my C drive in a CSV format. And it took about 502 seconds to write the data in a CSV format. And to write the data in the Parquet format, it took us 272 seconds to do that. Now let's read the CSV data back. So we have created the CSV and the Parquet files on our LAN drive, and now we're going to read the CSV file back. And it took us about 584 seconds to read the CSV data back. And let's see how long it's going to take us to read the Parquet file back. So let's run the read_Parquet command and see how long it takes to get back the data from the Parquet file. So it took us about 244 seconds to read the data back, which was much faster. So here are my observations. By no means it is a scientific benchmark, because I've only run each scenario once on my local SSD drive and once on my NAS drive or my network drive. So I created 1 million rows of data using the Wakefield package, and I used the data.table package to read and write the CSV files, and I used the arrow package to create the Parquet files and then read the Parquet files back. So the CSV file size was 2.5 gigabytes, whereas the Parquet file size was 1.1 GB, which was like 56% smaller. So for large data applications, it's much better to use the Parquet file format. CSV file is a row-based format, whereas the Parquet file is a column-based format. It performs much better in running complex queries. Obviously, we haven't covered this in any detail in this video. It was interesting to see that when we created the CSV file and the Parquet files on the SSD drive on my local computer, the Parquet files took slightly longer to read and write, whereas CSV files was slightly faster to read and write. But between the reads, I found that Parquet file took slightly less time to read as compared to writing the same file. For example, the CSV file took 5 seconds to write, and it took 8 seconds to read it back. Parquet file took 13 seconds to write the file, and it took 12 seconds to read it back. And On the LAN drive, Parquet File was the winner because Parquet File timing was almost 50% less as compared to the data.table F reads. So it took about 584 seconds to read the CSV file using the fread command, and it took almost half of it, about 244 seconds, to read the Parquet file back from the LAN drive. So Parquet file performed much better on a NAS drive or on a LAN drive. I hope you found this information useful and practical. Thank you very much for watching it, and I'll see you in the next one.